guys, it's Sarah and June wrap-up time. Oh my goodness. All right. June was a great month for me. I ended up reading 11 books. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Super awesome, but I was a reading machine this month apparently. So here's what I read. All right, the first book, I was in the middle of it when I started the month, so I went ahead and finished it, and that is A Court of Wings of Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in her Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy, and this is going to conclude this story arc. There is going to be more books from this world, but I think it's going to follow different characters and different stories and all that stuff. So this was a concluding novel, and I really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't quite as fast-paced as I wanted it to be. It was a little bit slower than I was expecting it, but when she was in her stride in this book, it was fantastic. It did take a little bit to get there. There's a lot of political stuff in here, a lot of war planning and building allies and strategies and all that stuff, which is, you know, obviously important. It was important to the story, and it made sense as the story went on, and when the war actually happened, a lot of it made sense as to why it was there. So but it was really, really good. I gave it 4 stars. I absolutely loved the second book in this series. It was my favorite by far of the 3, but this one was still really good. I liked the way that it ended, and the war scenes were fantastic. They were really, really good. All right, so the next one that I finished was the book that I did for the Triad chapter tag, and that is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, and I loved this book. I gave this book 4 stars, only because it is a young adult book, so it's not like an epic high fantasy type thing, so it wasn't completely mind-blowing, but it was still really, really good. I really enjoyed it. This made me really want to get more into Brandon Sanderson and his work and read some of his adult stuff too. I definitely want to continue with this series, but this follows a boy who lives in Chicago. However, it has been taken over by these beings that are called epics, and they're kind of superhero-esque as far as they have superpowers, but they don't use them for good. They really use them to keep society down, and kind of a dystopian type thing. They run the society, and everyone is really dependent on them for that, and they treat people like crap. So this is about him, and he wants to get revenge on this epic called Steelheart, who had killed his father when he was young. So that was, you kind of follow him, and he joins this group, and they are trying to take down all the epics as they can. So really, really good. Really loved this one. All right, so this next book I talked about in my Read-A-Rama wrap-up, Cant Buy Forever by Susan LaFoon, and this was a book sent to me by the author for review. I do have a separate review video for it. I'll leave that link down below. I did not like this book. I gave it a 1 stars, and I will, you can watch the video to see why. I'm not going to go into it because I didn't like it at all. Next up is Syracusa, and this is by Delia Ephron. This is a book that I listened to on audiobook, and this book I actually was contacted by the publishers to read, to do a review for it. They were going to send me a paperback copy because the paperback was coming out, so they were kind of re-promoting it. And I agreed to receive a review copy and read it and do a review and everything, and I never got that copy. So I don't know. I don't know if they're still going to send it to me or not, but I have read it because I wanted to go ahead and get it done, and I listened to the audiobook, like I said, because the audiobook had really good narrators, and yeah, I just don't have the copy, so I'm not doing a review video yet because I don't have it. This book follows 2 couples who end up traveling together to go to a island in Italy called Syracusa, like a kind of island town or a shore town, I guess you could call it, on the beach in Italy, and that was their vacation that they were taking together. And one couple is married, they do not have children, they don't want children, and the other couple is married and has 1 daughter. Her name is Snow, and she's like 13, and so the couples are very different, even though they're friends, and there has been a connection between one of the wives and one of the husbands who are not married. And so it was very interesting, a lot of interesting family dynamics there, and it was good. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't fantastic. It did kind of get marketed to me as a psychological thriller, No, it was an adult contemporary, and then there was a thriller aspect at the very, very end. But the thriller aspect was thrown in there almost like an afterthought, honestly, and there wasn't much repercussions because of it. So it really fell on the thriller aspect of it for me, and so I would not call it a thriller at all, honestly. But it was a 3 stars, so if I ever get the book, I'll do a review video on it. I already have it written out, but if I don't get it, I'm not going to, so there's that. All right, the next one that I listened to was Good Behavior by Blake Crouch. This was a fantastic audiobook. I really, really enjoyed it. This is a set of 3 novellas that is written around the same character. And this has her going through 3 different, life-threatening situations. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Her character was fantastic. And this was turned into a show on TNT called Good Behavior. And it stars Michelle Dockery, who is from Downton Abbey. So I'm really excited to watch that now. I have it recorded already, and I'm ready to sit down and watch it now that I've read the books. But yeah, very, very good. Blake Crouch is fantastic. He's phenomenal. I love him. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And it's a great audiobook too. All right, the next one that I read is The Gatecrasher by Madeline Wickham, and this is also Sophie Kinsella. She writes under Sophie Kinsella. Her real name is Madeline Wickham, but she writes the Shopaholic series and all the Sophie Kinsella books and all that. So this was cute. This follows a woman. Her name is Fleur. Like Fleur. I hate that name. And I hate saying that, but I think that's such a strange name. Like, I could not say it without going Fleur. Like, I don't know. That put me off. It didn't make me enjoy the book any less, but I was just like, oh, that name, really? Ooh. Okay, so I started reading this, and then I ended up switching to the audiobook just to help it go a little bit faster. And the audiobook was great. The narrator was British, so like it had the accents that were in here and the English words that were in here because Madeline is British. So it made it a little bit more enjoyable to listen to the audiobook for me. And it was really cute, but our main character, I'm not even going to say her name, is a gatecrasher, and that means that she crashes funerals in search of wealthy widows to kind of take advantage of them, get into relationships with them, take them for all she can, and then she leaves. And she ends up doing that with a man whose wife had just passed away, and she ends up getting into their family and just really realizing, like, oh, hey, I could actually be happy with this man. So it was very good. I really liked it. I thought it was cute. I did give it a 3.5 stars. It was fluffy. It was like a fluffy contemporary. Okay, next up is Baby Proof by Emily Giffen. This was one of my TBR jar picks this month, and I didn't really enjoy this book. It was fine. It follows a married couple who, when they get married, they both do not want children. Like, it's very adamant about it. And then during the marriage, the husband decides that he does want children, and it becomes a deal breaker for them. They get divorced very quickly, although they still really miss each other. And the wife is really kind of realizing what she's missing out on, and they end up back together. So that's literally all that happened. And it was fine. It was well written. I really like Emily Giffen's writing. She writes really well, but at the same time, like, it was just boring. Like, I did not care. I didn't care about these characters. I didn't care about their feelings. I was just like, well, if you don't want children to the point where you're willing to lose your husband and the one true love you've ever had, then that's your fault. You know what I mean? And there was one point where she was considering getting back together with him and saying to him, I'll have your baby if that's what it takes to get back together with you. And I wanted to throw the book across the room when I read that, because I was like, no, that is not why you have children. No, just don't. Like, that really made me cringe. I just went, no, that's not why you have children. You don't have children to get someone back that you want. That's not parenthood. That's not okay. So that made me mad, but overall, it was just fine. I'm going to forget it in a year from now. But yeah, so 2 stars. All right, this next one, Identical by Ellen Hopkins. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I'm not going to hold this up. because it's going to reflect off my camera and stuff. But, oh my gosh. So Ellen Hopkins writes in verse. So it was very, very quick to read, as you can see, all that. And it was fantastic. It follows a set of identical twins who have a very, very hard family life. And I'm talking like sexual abuse. There's cutting going on. There's drug abuse. There is alcoholism, like all sorts of stuff. So many trigger warnings. Like there's triggers all over the place, which is normal with Ellen Hopkins. But oh man, it was really, really good. And it had a really good twist at the end that I did not see coming at all. I was just like, oh, I was laying down kind of as I was reading it, and it made me sit up and go, what in the world is going on? Fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And this is one that I was like, oh, I can read this and unhaul it. I'm second guessing it. I think I will, honestly, because these are fat, chunky books. I'm probably never going to read it again, especially since I know the twist now. But yeah, still like 5 stars, fantastic. I absolutely loved it. All right, guys, guess what I finished? Yay! I finished this 730 pages of history. I actually finished it. So proud of myself on this one. And all 3 of us were proud of ourselves when we finished this because I did this as a buddy read. And all 3 of us really, really liked it. We all really enjoyed this book. I gave this one 5 stars. It was really, really well written. It made it entertaining. It was funny. It was interesting. Everything made sense in here. Whereas a lot of times if you read a history book, it can have a lot of details that just aren't necessarily important. But I felt like everything in here was important. Everything was essential to move the story along, and everything was important to Hamilton's mindset and what he was thinking at the time. And it just made sense, and it was fantastic. And it made me realize these were terrible people. Like, founding fathers, yes, great, fantastic, you did great things. But man, so flawed, you know, just like everybody, you know, we're all flawed, we're all sinners, we're all like that. But a lot of times I think people in history get put on a pedestal and they're seen as perfect or gods or, you know, like to be worshipped. No, he cheated on his wife publicly, like not publicly, you know, he wasn't flaunting it, but, you know, he wrote a paper about it and it got published. And so, you know, that wasn't very nice. He cared a lot about his reputation, which is very interesting. And then he cheated on his wife, which made a whole lot of sense, right? But yeah, it was very good, very flawed. A lot of people didn't like him back then, and some people did. So it was very interesting, very interesting. And I felt like I learned a whole lot in this book. So if this is something that you think you would be interested in, I would recommend the audiobook because about 200 pages or so in, we switched to the audiobook and it went so much faster, and it's read really, really well. So I would definitely recommend the audiobook for this one if you want to do that. But yeah, loved it. 5 stars. All right, this next one here is Touched by Courtney Mom. I do have a full review video up for this one. If you guys want to go check that out, I will leave a link down below. And I enjoyed this one. This one was a 4-star read for me, and it follows a woman who is a trend forecaster, and she is able to predict trends that are going to be popular among the public, and she helps companies figure out what those are and figure out how those companies can maximize their products and their profits off of it by making sure that they have all these technological advances ready to go when the trends are ready to go. So very, very interesting. She learns a lot about herself in this one, a lot of character development that I really, really enjoyed in here, and it was good. And if it sounds like something you're interested in, I do currently have a giveaway going on for this book on that review video, so make sure you check the link out. And the last book that I finished in the month of June was The Confusion of Languages, and this is by Siobhan Fallon. And I also have another review and giveaway going on for this one too, so make sure you go check those out. I'll leave a link down below. But this was fantastic, you guys. It was really, really good. I gave this one 5 stars. This follows 2 married couples who are living in Jordan while their husbands work at the American Embassy, and it's a lot about these 2 women and their differences. They are definitely opposites, but they form this friendship, And one day, one of these women goes missing in the country of Jordan, who they're pretty American friendly there, but not all of them, so kind of a dangerous situation is happening here. So very, very good. Really, really enjoyed it. 5 stars for me. Again, I have a full review that talks a whole lot more about it and a giveaway going on currently as well. So make sure you go check that out. All right, guys, that's it for me. Woo, that is a whole lot of books. A whole lot of books this month, and I enjoyed most of them. 2 of them were duds, but most of them were really good. So I've had a really, really good reading month. All right, so please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys read this month. What was your favorite? Did you have any duds like I did? And let me know if you have any questions as well. And I will be back tomorrow with my July TBR. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.